Being responsible for somebody else's well-being, and as hard as this will hear, even your kid, you will find that by not taking the responsibility for their well-being, now if it's an infant or if you are a female, something happens. When the child is born, the cord is cut, but there's another cord. That's the cord when the baby says, I'm hungry, and your breasts start dripping milk. That's the cord that attaches from the child's first chakra to your first chakra. That's the cord that when the baby turns over at 7 weeks old in its bed, you are wide awake, walking through a dark room right to the bed without bumping into anything and say, baby, are you okay? That cord stays connected to the mother until a very specific point. The kid has no capacity as a child, baby, newborn, to take care of itself. That cord connects to your first chakra, and it's the child's survival mechanism. But as the child becomes 1 and 2 and 4 and 5 and 7 and 8, it becomes more worldly. And then there is a single point where the child says, Mom, not Dad, I think I'm worldly enough to do this on my own. That's called puberty. The cord belongs to the child, not the mother. If the mother is a mother that's dominating and worried and fearful, there's a very big difference between I love you and I'm worried to death about you. Two very different, radically different vibrations. If a kid is raised with a mother that says, my job is to give you all the thinking strategies, learning strategies, opportunities, I'll let you fall down on your nose when it really doesn't count when you're small, so that when you're big, you know how to take care of falling down on your nose. What happens is in that capacity, that child begins to be its own entity, and it has choice. The same thing with everybody else around us, except we're all big now, and we grew up in that third dimensional reality. And as parents and as kids, we weren't smart then like we're beginning to be now. We're in the shift. Your job is to simply become the love that you are, the beauty, the grace, the capability that you are. Allow as much information to flow within you, and then be of assistance, providing opportunity, uplifting, choice. If they choose, wonderful. But if they don't choose, it isn't your problem. But what you do when you start to get in this state of being is you step back and you allow them to continue to go on in their ways that aren't supporting, but you watch, and you watch, and you watch. When you worry outside of your space, you're not taking care of you. And to a great extent, it's because of the imbalance in the masculine and physical nature of how you've learned to give your seniority up to mom, dad, teacher, minister out there. What they think of me counts. What I think of me does not count. That's how most of us have grown up. It's time to change that. You can't go on this journey with that concept being prevalent. You start to find that I love me so much when I'm with you. The feeling is in you. And so, do you go out and beat them up, insult them, embarrass them, humiliate them, make them not okay? No, because it doesn't make me feel very good. As you start to find this place, as you begin to allow yourself to, I love me in relationship to everything around me, the tree, the path, the flower, my kid, what happens is you start giving them permission, one by example, and allowing them to move around. You find you start having different kinds of conversation. Teenagers are teenagers.
So basically, we're seeing their stuff come up to the surface for them to work through.
To an extent,
mm-hmm.
but a lot of them are carrying coding structures that are holding an enormous amount of light, and some of these kids are running the transmutational patterns through their bodies to heal the world.
Okay.
And they get very uncomfortable about that. even though that's what they've chosen. Many of them are like that. It's very uncomfortable being in that body. These are big beings doing big jobs, and yet we see them as our kid. They're not. They're your friend. They're your companion in a lot of ways. Third dimension says, that's my kid, I got to take care of him. Fourth dimension says, my job is the steward of this child for 18 years, and I'm to give them all the learning strategies and thinking strategies and let them fall down on their nose as often as possible. That's a strange thing. And then get down there with them and go, oh, wow, that didn't work very good. I wonder what else we can do. And they'll come up with another idea that will be successful. And then pretty soon they will know how to succeed. And there is no failure. And we've never learned that as third dimensional parents. These kids know that. Wait until you see your grandkids.
Oh my. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for the question.
Now, what happens when we're dealing with teenagers? I have a boy that's autistic. It takes a lot of energy to work with him on a daily basis, to empower him, to teach him, but then to let go and to allow him.
Why do you think you have to teach him?
Well, that's what I'm recognizing. I'm seeing that he's teaching me, that he's showing me that he's got it all figured out. But at the same time, I guess I'm having to let go of just watching him sit in front of a TV when there's so much to life, you know? There's so much going on around him, and he just doesn't want to engage.
Teenagers are teenagers. They're in transition, and these teenagers are all part of the shift. Every one of these teenagers has come into the body after 1987, when the shift began. Many of the teenagers are right in between that crystalline, without defining that, crystalline kid level, indigo kid level, but these kids are all wired. A lot of these kids are just waiting for their opportunity to do what they came here to do.